With Riftigos being taken out of the game in the most recent update, we are now on a no mobility meta. Well, except for the grappler gun, but only some players get these, so learning how to play in a no mobility meta will be super important for success this season. The first thing that you can do to perform better this season is to loot your POI faster. Making sure you rotate out of your POI before the first zone closes is integral to making clean rotates throughout the rest of your game, but also make sure that you're farming up your materials to 555, as your materials are the only thing that can push you through the game now. The next important thing is to rotate the second and third and fourth zones early. If you rotate these zones early, you can make these rotates much cheaper, and although this was important before, it is even more pivotal now in a no mobility meta. Now that we are in the fourth zone, let's talk about positioning. Ideally, you want to position yourself in the center of the fourth zone so that you can have the shortest distance to walk the 50-50. In a no mobility meta, getting a max pull 50-50 is a death sentence and needs to be avoided at all costs, but to get to the center of the fourth zone, we need to go back a little bit to the third zone. It used to be meta to play the center of the third zone so that you can pull the fourth zone every time. Now I think it makes more sense to play somewhere in the middle of the third zone, so you don't want to play full edge, but you also don't want to play the full center of the third zone. This is because if you pull the zone here, you are more likely to be in the center of the fourth zone, and if you don't pull the fourth zone, you can make a wrap rotate to the dead side of the fourth zone and start rotating your way towards the center from there. Alright, now let's move on to the endgame. In the endgame, it is extremely important to start playing the dead side of the moving zones. Most players by now understand the main 50-50 dead side, but most people don't know there are actually two viable dead sides on the 50-50 zone that you can use to make your first moving rotate. The first dead side is the one most people know about, and it's the side that was originally in the zone part of 50-50. The other dead side is a more dead pocket in the middle of the 50-50 zone. This spot exists because many players don't like to rotate up the center of 50-50, so there's a lot less congestion in this hole compared to the main arc of congestion in 50-50. When making your first moving rotates, it is incredibly important that you're using the dead side to save materials so that you can extend yourself further into the endgame. Once you have tarped into first moving, it is also important that you tarp deeper into the first moving zone so that you can use the dead side of the first moving to make a cheaper second moving rotate. From this point on in the game, mobility wasn't used much anyway, so the rest of the endgame plays out very similar to how it used to. The only difference is these games will die out sooner as players are running out of materials sooner, but if you follow the tips that I gave you earlier, you should have more materials than most of the lobby, and you'll be in a great place to find a lot of kills onto players who are running out of materials so you can cleanly win the game. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Peace.